Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 61. What is true success? We now begin a new and beautiful phase of our journey together, moving from the inner world of being to the outer world of doing. We are here to explore what it means to live a life of purpose, to create, to contribute, and to achieve success. But before we can move toward success, we must first embark on the courageous act of defining it for ourselves. From the moment we are born, we are immersed in a cultural story about what it means to be successful. This story is told to us through advertising, through media, through our education system, and often through our own families. The story usually involves a checklist, a prestigious job title, a certain income level, a large house, a luxury car, public recognition, and the accumulation of material wealth. Let us be clear. There's nothing inherently wrong with any of these things. They can be wonderful tools and beautiful aspects of a full life. But when we mistake the checklist for the destination, we often find ourselves in a state of hollow victory. We climb the ladder of success with all our might, only to reach the top and realize, with a sinking feeling, that our ladder was leaned against the wrong wall. We achieve the external markers, yet feel an internal emptiness. This is because the conventional definition of success is a game created by the ego. It is a game of comparison, of accumulation, and of seeking external validation. It is a game that can never truly be won, because the goalposts are always moving. The soul, however, does not care for this game. The soul has its own, much richer definition of success. Today, we are here to tear up the old checklist and write a new one, not from the voice of the ego, but from the wisdom of our heart. We are here to define success with soul. True, soulful success is not about what you have, but about who you are being. It is not a destination you arrive at, but a quality of presence and alignment you bring to the journey of your life, moment by moment. Let's explore the ingredients of this deeper, more fulfilling success. The first ingredient is alignment. Are your daily actions, from your career to your relationships, in alignment with your deepest, most authentic values? A successful life is one that feels like an honest expression of who you are. The second ingredient is well-being. Do you feel a baseline of inner peace? Do you have the physical vitality to enjoy your life? Is your emotional world one of resilience and compassion? No amount of external success can compensate for a lack of inner well-being. The third is connection. Are your relationships with family, friends, and community authentic, loving, and supportive? A successful life is rich in connection, in shared laughter, and in the feeling of belonging. The fourth is growth. Are you learning? Are you evolving? Are you becoming a fuller, wiser, more compassionate expression of yourself? The soul thrives on growth, not stagnation. A successful life is one of continual, gentle unfolding. And the final beautiful ingredient is contribution. Are you using your unique, God-given gifts to make a positive impact on the world around you? This doesn't have to mean saving the world. It can be as simple as bringing joy to your family, creating beauty in your garden, or offering a listening ear to a friend. A successful life is one that leaves the world a little bit better for having been here. I invite you to try a small imaginative exercise. Picture yourself at the very end of a long, happy, and fulfilling life. You are sitting in a comfortable chair, looking back over the decades. As you look back, what are the things that make you smile? What are the memories that fill your heart with a deep sense of peace and satisfaction, causing you to think, yes, that was a truly successful life? I imagine it won't be the specific amount in your bank account or the job title you held in your 40s. It will be the love you gave and received, the moments of pure, unadulterated joy, the challenges you overcame with courage, the beauty you created, the difference you made in the lives of others. That is true success. It is the peace of mind that comes from living a life that is true to your own soul. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to become the author of your own definition of success. Take a fresh page in your journal and write the heading, My New Definition of Success. Forget everything society has told you that you should want. I want you to brainstorm a list of words, feelings, and experiences that represent what a truly successful life would feel like to you. Perhaps your list includes words like peace, freedom, creativity, laughter, connection, adventure. This is your new North Star. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 62, Discovering Your Passions. We have begun our journey into purposeful living by redefining success on our own terms. Now, we take the first practical step on the path to discovering our unique purpose. We are going to become detectives, searching for the energetic trail of breadcrumbs that our soul has left for us to follow. These breadcrumbs are our passions. Your passions are not random. They are not frivolous or a waste of time. They are sacred clues. They are the voice of your higher self, whispering, this way. This is what it feels like to be alive. This is what it feels like to be you. The energy of passion is the energy of your soul, aligning with an activity, a subject, or an idea. To follow your passion is to follow the call of your own authentic nature. Now, let's release the immense pressure that often comes with this topic. Many of us feel a deep anxiety that we don't know our one true passion. We see people who seem to have been born with a singular driving purpose, and we feel lost in comparison. I invite you to reframe the concept. A passion does not have to be a single, monumental, lifelong obsession. A passion is simply anything that sparks your curiosity, that holds your genuine interest, that engages you so fully you lose track of time. It is anything that creates a feeling of flow, of energized focus. You may have one passion, or you may have 20. The key is not to find the one, but simply to begin honoring the sparks of interest, no matter how small. As we grow from children into adults, we are often conditioned to silence these joyful whispers. Our natural love for drawing, for exploring the woods, for telling stories, is often met with the voice of practicality, from others or from our own developing inner critic. That's a silly hobby. You can't make a living doing that. You should focus on something more serious. And so, we learn to turn down the volume on our soul's enthusiasm. Our work now is to gently, patiently turn that volume back up. So how do we rediscover these passions that may have been dormant for years? We become gentle detectives of our own lives, past and present. Our first clue lies in our childhood. Your inner child detective knows the way. Think back to when you were between the ages of, say, 7 and 12. Before the pressures of adolescence and adulthood set in. What did you love to do? What activities would make you lose track of time for hours on end? Was it building elaborate structures with blocks? Was it drawing, painting, or creating? Was it organizing your collections? Was it taking things apart to see how they worked? Was it reading voraciously? Was it caring for animals? The passions of your childhood are often the purest expression of your soul's innate inclinations. Next, we conduct a curiosity audit of our present life. What do you find yourself doing in your spare moments? When you fall down an internet rabbit hole, what are the topics you are exploring? History, technology, gardening, spirituality? What kinds of books or documentaries do you gravitate towards purely for the joy of learning, with no external goal? Your curiosities are the seedlings of passion. A third clue is the envy and admiration test. Pay close attention to the people you admire or feel a sense of healthy envy towards. That feeling of, I wish I could do that, is not a sign of your own lack. It is a signpost. It is your soul pointing to a dormant potential within you, recognizing itself in another. What are they doing or being that resonates so deeply with you? Is it their creativity, their courage, their connection to nature? That resonance is a clue. The practice, then, is not to immediately try to monetize your passion or turn it into a new career. That is the voice of pressure, and it can kill the joy before it even has a chance to bloom. The practice is simply to follow the spark. It is to give yourself permission to schedule into your life even just 30 minutes a week, to engage in an activity purely because it lights you up, with no other agenda. By honoring your joy in these small ways, you are sending a powerful message to yourself and to the universe that your passion matters. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to become a childhood detective. In your journal, make a list of 5 to 10 things you absolutely loved to do as a child before you worried about being good at them. For each activity, write one sentence about what you loved about it. For example, I loved building forts because I loved creating my own special magical world. Look for the themes in what you loved. Was it creating, exploring, organizing, connecting? This is a powerful clue to your soul's nature. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 63. Uncovering your gifts and talents. We have begun to follow the trail of breadcrumbs left by our passions. Now we will look even deeper to uncover the innate, natural abilities that fuel those passions. We are here to uncover your unique gifts and talents. When we hear the word talent, our minds often leap to the extraordinary, the virtuosic musician, the brilliant painter, the Olympic athlete. And while those are beautiful expressions of talent, this narrow definition causes most of us to believe that we don't have any real gifts. Today, we will expand this definition. A gift is any natural ability, quality, or inclination that comes so easily to you that you might not even recognize it as special. There is a wonderful saying, a fish doesn't know it's wet. This is the perfect metaphor for our most profound natural gifts. They are the water we swim in. They feel so normal and effortless to us that we often assume everyone else can do them just as easily. But they can't. Your natural way of being is completely unique to you. It is helpful to distinguish between a gift and a skill. A skill is something that is learned primarily through effort and practice. You can learn the skill of using a specific software program, or the skill of driving a car. A gift or a talent, on the other hand, is an innate ability that you are born with. You can certainly develop and refine a gift by applying skills to it, but the raw material is natural. For example, someone might have a natural gift for empathy, for feeling what others are feeling. That is the raw talent. They can then learn the skills of active listening and compassionate communication to make that gift even more effective. The journey of uncovering your gifts is often a journey of making the invisible visible. So how do we begin to see the water we are swimming in? The first clue is to ask yourself, what comes easy? What kinds of problems do you solve for your friends and family without even thinking about it? Are you the person everyone calls for tech support? Are you the one who can always calm a crying baby? Are you the one who can walk into a chaotic room and instantly see how to organize it? Are you the one who can explain complex ideas in a simple way? These things that feel like no big deal to you are often your most powerful gifts. A second incredibly powerful technique is the ask others method. Because our gifts are often in our blind spot, the people around us can see them more clearly than we can. I invite you to choose 3 to 5 people in your life who you trust and who know you well. Send them a simple message. I am doing a self-discovery exercise and would love your input. When you think of me, what is one thing you think I'm naturally good at? Then, just be open to receiving their answers. You will likely be surprised and deeply touched. Their reflections will act as a mirror, showing you the beauty that you have been taking for granted. A third clue is to notice what feels effortless. Pay attention to the activities where you seem to learn faster than others, where the process feels intuitive and natural to you. Where do you find yourself in a state of flow, completely absorbed and energized by the task at hand? That feeling of ease and flow is a sign that you are operating within your zone of natural genius. And finally, examine your passions, the ones we uncovered in our last chapter. Your passions and your gifts are deeply intertwined. Look at the list of things you are passionate about. What innate abilities are required to enjoy those things? If you love to host dinner parties, your gifts might include hospitality, organization, and the ability to make people feel comfortable and connected. If you love deep, one-on-one conversations, your gifts are likely empathy, insightful questioning, and the ability to hold space for others. Your unique combination of gifts is your sacred offering to the world. It is the specific flavor of magic that only you can bring. Recognizing and owning these gifts is not an act of ego. It is an act of deep self-awareness and responsibility. It is the next essential step in aligning your life with a profound sense of purpose. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to try the Ask Others method. It is an act of beautiful vulnerability. Send that simple message to 3 to 5 trusted friends or family members. I'm doing a self-discovery exercise and would love your input. When you think of me, what's one thing you think I'm naturally good at? As you receive their answers, collect them in your journal without judgment or dismissal. Just receive their reflections as loving data and look for the common themes. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 64. The intersection of passion, skill, and service. In our journey so far, we have been gathering the sacred ingredients of a purpose-driven life. We have redefined success on our own soulful terms. We have followed the energetic breadcrumbs back to our passions, the activities that bring us joy and make us feel alive. And we have uncovered our unique innate gifts, the natural talents that come so easily to us. We may have overlooked them. Today, we will take these beautiful, disparate threads and begin to weave them together. We are here to explore the sacred intersection where what we love to do, what we are uniquely good at, and what the world needs from us all come together. This intersection is the sweet spot of purpose. Imagine 3 large, overlapping circles. The first circle is your passions. This is what you love. This is the fuel for your journey. It is the work that doesn't feel like work, the activities that make you lose all the track of time. Without passion, any path, no matter how noble, will eventually lead to burnout. Passion is the energy of your soul saying, yes. The second circle is your gifts and skills. This is what you are good at. This is your unique toolkit, the combination of your natural, God-given talents and the skills you have diligently learned. This is how you make your unique impact on the world. To work from your zone of genius is to feel effective, competent, and in a state of flow. The third circle is the world's needs. This is what you can be of service for. This is the vital element that takes your personal joy and makes it a contribution. The needs of the world are vast and varied. It can be the need for healing, the need for beauty, the need for justice, the need for organization, the need for laughter, or the simple, profound need for people to feel less alone. Now let's look at where these circles overlap. When your passions and your gifts overlap, you experience a sense of mastery and joy. This is doing what you love and doing it well. It's a beautiful place to be. But without the third circle, it can sometimes feel self-indulgent or lack a deeper sense of meaning. When your gifts and the world's needs overlap, you experience the feeling of being useful and effective. This is your vocation. You are good at something that the world values. This can be very satisfying. It can build a great career. But if your passion isn't in it, it can eventually feel hollow or draining. The magic, the electricity, the soul-deep resonance of true purpose is found in the center, in the precious space where all 3 circles intersect. This is your zone of genius. This is what the Japanese call ikigai, your reason for being. This is where what you most love to do, what you are uniquely good at, and a need in the world that you genuinely care about all converge. To live and work from the sacred intersection is to create a life where your greatest joy becomes your greatest service. The energy is self-sustaining. Your passion fuels your work. Your natural gifts make that work effective. And the act of being of service fills your work with profound meaning. So how do we begin to find this intersection for ourselves? It begins with a reflective practice. Take out your journal, the sacred record of your inner world. Based on our previous chapters, create 3 distinct lists. First, a list of your passions and curiosities. Second, a list of your gifts and talents. And third, a list of needs in the world that touch your heart. What problems do you wish you could solve? What suffering moves you to compassion? What kind of beauty or healing do you wish there was more of in the world? Then, with these 3 lists in front of you, you simply look for the connections. You play, you brainstorm, you draw lines, you get curious. Could your gift for organizing be applied to your passion for environmentalism in a way that helps communities create recycling programs? Could your passion for deep conversation and your gift for empathy be used to serve the need for lonely people, to feel heard and connected? Discovering your purpose is not about finding a single preordained job title. It is about identifying this unique, sacred intersection of energies that only you possess, and then having the courage to begin expressing it in the world, even in the smallest of ways. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to create your 3 circles inventory. In your journal, dedicate a page to each list. My passions, my gifts, and needs I care about. Take your time and make these lists as rich and honest as possible. Then, on a fresh page, start brainstorming. What potential combinations and overlaps do you see? Don't look for a final answer. The goal of this exercise is simply to open your mind to the beautiful possibilities that exist at your unique intersection. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 65. Defining your core values, revisited. We have begun to map the territory of our purpose by exploring the intersection of our passions, gifts, and the needs of the world. Now we must ensure that the path we choose to walk within that territory is in perfect alignment with the truth of our soul. To do this, we need an inner compass. That compass is our set of core values. We may have touched on values before, but now, as we begin to build the framework of a purposeful life, it is essential that we define them with absolute clarity. Your core values are the guiding principles of your life. They're the qualities of being that you hold as most important, most sacred, and most essentially you. Words like integrity, freedom, connection, creativity, security, adventure, or growth. Your values are your non-negotiables. Why is this so crucial right now? Because it is entirely possible to find a path that sits at the intersection of your passions and gifts and serves a need in the world. But if it violates one of your core values, it will ultimately feel wrong and lead to burnout. Imagine someone whose gifts and passions lie in healing and who feels called to serve the sick, but whose highest core value is freedom and autonomy. If they take a job in a rigid, bureaucratic hospital system that stifles their independence, they will be miserable despite being on purpose. Their purpose and their values are out of alignment. Your values are the filter through which every major life decision must pass. To live a life of integrity is to make choices that are in harmony with your stated values. So let's embark on a deeper values clarification exercise. This is not a passive process. It is an active one of making conscious choices. First, brainstorm. I invite you to open your journal and simply write down every word for a value that resonates with you. Don't overthink it. Just create a big, expansive list. Words like honesty, balance, fun, loyalty, community, peace, excellence, learning, spirituality, authenticity. Next, group and theme. Look at your long list. Do you see any clusters? Perhaps you wrote down community, family, friendship, and belonging. The overarching theme there is connection. This helps you begin to see the larger patterns. Now comes the most important and challenging step. Prioritize. A person who has 20 core values has none. You must make the difficult choice to narrow your list down to your top 5. This is what gives them power. A powerful way to do this is the forced choice method. Pit 2 values from your list against each other. If you could only live a life that fully honored adventure, or one that fully honored security, which would you choose? There is no right answer, only your answer. This process of choosing reveals what is truly at the core of your being. Once you have your top 3 to 5 values, the final step is to define them. Don't leave them as abstract concepts. For each of your core values, write your own personal definition. What does freedom actually mean to you? Does it mean financial freedom? Creative freedom? Freedom from a schedule? Get specific. What does a life lived in alignment with this value look and feel like? Once this work is done, you will hold in your hands your personal constitution, your inner compass. From this day forward, when you are faced with a decision, big or small, you can hold it up against your list of values and ask the simple question, does this choice honor my value of creativity? Does this choice support my value of connection? Does this choice align with my value of integrity? If the answer is a clear yes, you can proceed with confidence. If the answer is a no, it is a powerful sign to pause, reconsider, and perhaps choose a different path. Your core values are the architecture of your soul. To consciously build a life that honors this architecture is to live in a state of profound integrity. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to create your personal constitution. Take the time to do the full values clarification exercise. Brainstorm your long list, group them, and then do the hard work of narrowing it down to your top 3 to 5 core values. For each of your final values, write a personal, detailed definition of what the value means to you and what it looks like in action. This document will become one of the most important guides of your life. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 66. Vision Board for Your Higher Self. We have done the deep, introspective work. We have defined success, uncovered our passions and gifts, identified our purpose at the sacred intersection, and clarified the core values that will serve as our compass. Now, we will translate all of this beautiful inner work into a vibrant, tangible, and powerful external form. We are going to create a vision board for your higher self. Let us immediately release the common conception of a vision board as simply a wish list for material possessions, a collage of mansions, sports cars, and luxury watches. While you are free to include anything you desire, we are approaching this practice from a much deeper place. A vision board for your higher self is not about what you want to have. It is about who you are choosing to be. It is a sacred visual representation of your soul's calling. It is a tool for vibrational alignment, an anchor that constantly reminds you of the feelings you wish to cultivate and the aligned, purposeful life you are stepping into. The golden rule for this practice is to focus on the why behind the what. For every image you choose, you must ask yourself, what is the core feeling this image represents for me? That picture of a beautiful, tranquil beach might represent the feeling of peace. A picture of people laughing around a dinner table might represent connection. A picture of a passport might represent adventure and freedom. The images are just symbols. The feelings are the destination. Your vision board is a collage of your desired emotional states. So, let's talk about the practical art of creating your board. First, set the mood. This is not a task to be rushed. This is a sacred creative ritual. Carve out a few hours of uninterrupted time. Light a candle. Play your most inspiring, high-vibration music. Perhaps do a short meditation to connect with your heart and your inner wisdom before you begin. Next, gather your materials. You will need a board. A simple cork board or a piece of poster board works perfectly. You'll need scissors and glue. And most importantly, you will need your source material. This can be a stack of magazines that you find visually inspiring, or you can use websites like Pinterest to find and print specific images. Now, here's the key. Use your inner work as your guide. Before you cut out a single image, have your journal open to the work we have just done. Look at your list of passions, your list of gifts, and especially your list of top core values. These are your creative prompts. You are not looking for random things. You are looking for images, words, and colors that are a visual representation of your unique purpose and your core values. Then, you begin the intuitive process. Start flipping through your magazines or scrolling through images. The goal here is to get out of your analytical mind. Don't think too hard. Let your intuition, your heart, lead the way. If an image, a word, a color, or a texture gives you an immediate visceral feeling of yes, a feeling of expansion, joy, or deep resonance, cut it out. Don't question why. Just trust the spark. Collect a big pile of these resonant images and words. Once you have your collection, you can begin to curate and arrange. Lay out all of your chosen pieces. Start to see the themes. Arrange them on your board in a way that feels energetically and aesthetically pleasing to you. There are no rules here. It can be a dense collage or a spacious arrangement. This is your personal masterpiece. Finally, once your board is complete, place it somewhere you will see it every single day. Your bedroom, your office, the space where you meditate. The practice is not to stare at it and wish. The practice is to glance at it daily and let it do its magic. Let it be a subconscious reminder of your North Star. Let it be a tool that instantly evokes the feelings of the life you are creating. It is your daily dose of vibrational alignment. Your vision board is a sacred mirror, reflecting back to you not who you are today, but the magnificent truth of who you are becoming. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to prepare for the creation of your board. Before you gather any external materials, create a journal vision board. Dedicate a few pages in your journal to this. For each of your top core values, write down what it looks, sounds, and feels like to be living that value fully. What images, symbols, and words come to your own mind when you think of freedom or connection? This inner work will become the powerful blueprint for your physical board. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 67. Setting Soulful Goals. We have stood on the mountaintop of our vision, creating a beautiful, expansive view of the life our soul is calling us to live. Now, we must chart the path from where we stand to where we wish to go. We will do this by setting goals. But we are going to release the old paradigm of goal setting, the one that can often feel like pressure, like a setup for failure, or like a joyless exercise in hustle culture. Today, we are learning to set soulful goals. What is the difference between a conventional, ego-driven goal and a soulful goal? An ego goal is often born from the voice of should. I should get that promotion. I should make a 6-figure income. I should lose 20 pounds. These goals are often driven by a need for external validation, by a desire to impress others, or by a comparison to where we think we should be in life. When you think about an ego goal, it often feels heavy, stressful, like a weight on your shoulders. It is a target you feel you must hit in order to finally be worthy. A soulful goal, on the other hand, is born from your own inner truth. It arises naturally from the work we have just done, from your passions, your gifts, and your core values. It is less about what you want to have and more about who you are choosing to become and how you want to feel. When you think about a soulful goal, it feels expansive, energizing, and exciting, even if it is also challenging. It is not a target you must hit to prove your worth. It is a beautiful, inspiring destination on the journey of your own unfolding. The ultimate litmus test for any goal is to check in with your body. Close your eyes and state the goal to yourself. Does your body contract? Do your shoulders tense up? Does your stomach clench? That is the feeling of an ego-driven should. Or does your body expand? Does your heart feel a little lighter? Do you feel a spark of excitement or a quiet yes deep within? That is the resonance of a soulful goal. Your body knows the difference between a contract and an invitation. The practice of setting soulful goals is the art of translating the beautiful feelings from your vision board into tangible pathways. Look at your board. At that image, you chose to represent the feeling of peace. A soulful goal is the concrete action that will lead you to that feeling. It might be, my goal is to create a 10-minute meditation practice every morning. Look at the image that represents connection. The soulful goal might be, my goal is to schedule one meaningful, distraction-free date with a loved one each week. Let's create a simple framework for this. First, start with the feeling. Choose a core feeling you want to experience more of in your life, as inspired by your vision board and your inner work. Let's say the feeling is creativity. Second, connect it to a value. Does this feeling align with one of your top core values? Yes, creativity is one of my core values. This confirms the alignment. Third, create a concrete what. What is a tangible outcome or project that would be a beautiful expression of this feeling and this value? My goal is to write the first 3 chapters of my book. Or, my goal is to learn how to play that song on the guitar. Finally, set a when, but hold it gently. It's important to give your goal a time frame to create focus and momentum. I will complete the first 3 chapters by the end of the year. But this is not a weapon to beat yourself with. It is a target, a direction. If you don't hit it exactly on time, you practice self-compassion, you reassess, and you adjust the timeline with grace. Soulful goals are not chains that bind you to a rigid outcome. They are luminous pathways that guide you, step by step, toward the fullest and most joyful expression of your authentic self. They are not demands from your inner critic. They are love letters to your future. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to translate a feeling into a focus. Choose one of the key feelings or core values that is central to your vision for your life. Perhaps it's peace, adventure, connection, or freedom. In your journal, brainstorm 3 to 5 tangible soulful goals, both big and small, that would help you experience more of that specific feeling in your life. Then, circle the one that makes your heart feel the most expansive and excited right now. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 68, Strategic Planning with Intuition. The soulful goal has been set. The destination is clear, and it resonates with your heart. Now, we must build the bridge to get there. This is the phase of planning. But just as we redefined goal setting, we will also redefine what it means to create a plan. We will learn to engage in a beautiful and powerful dance between practical strategy and divine intuition. Imagine a bird. To fly, a bird needs 2 wings, working in perfect harmony. One wing is strategy. This is logic, structure, planning, and taking action. This can be seen as the masculine energy of doing. The other wing is intuition. This is flow, trust, surrender, and being open to synchronicity. This can be seen as the feminine energy of being. If a bird tries to fly with only the wing of strategy, it will exhaust itself, flapping furiously, but only flying in tight, controlled circles. If it tries to fly with only the wing of intuition, it will be carried wherever the wind blows, with no clear direction. But when both wings work together, the bird soars. Let us first explore the strategic wing. This is where we honor our brilliant, logical mind as a powerful tool for creation. The first step is to take your big, soulful goal and break it down. An ambitious goal, like write a book, can feel so overwhelming that it leads to paralysis. The art of chunking down is the antidote. You break the mountain down into a series of small, manageable hills. Write a book becomes 1. Create a detailed outline. 2. Write the first chapter. 3. Edit the first chapter. 4. Write the second chapter, and so on. Suddenly, the impossible becomes a series of simple, doable tasks. A powerful technique for this is reverse engineering. Start at the finish line, your completed goal, and work your way backward. Ask yourself, what is the very last thing that would need to happen for this goal to be complete? Then, what would need to happen right before that? And before that? This creates a clear, logical roadmap from your destination all the way back to where you are standing right now. Once you have your small action steps, the final strategic move is to schedule them. A goal without a plan is just a wish. A plan without a schedule is just a piece of paper. The act of putting your action steps into your actual calendar, Tuesday from 9 to 10, 8 a.m., outline, chapter 1, is a powerful statement of commitment. What gets scheduled gets done. Now we turn to the equally important intuitive wing. This is the art of surrender and flow. First, you must hold the plan loosely. Your beautiful, logical plan is your best guess from your current vantage point. It is your map. But the universe may have a more scenic route, a surprising shortcut, or a more beautiful destination in mind for you. Be committed to the destination, but flexible in your approach. This brings us to the next right step practice. While your strategic plan may have 50 steps, your only job on any given day is to focus on the one step in front of you. Each morning, after your meditation, you can ask your inner wisdom a simple question. What is the one most important, inspired action for me to take today to move towards my goal? Listen for the gentle nudge. It might be the next logical step on your list, or your intuition might guide you to make a seemingly random phone call, or to go for a walk in nature to clear your head. Trust these nudges. And as you work through your plan, always check the energy. Before you begin a task, pause. Does this action feel expansive and right? Or does it feel heavy, contracted, and forced? If it feels forced, it doesn't necessarily mean you shouldn't do it. But it's a signal to get curious. Is the timing off? Is there a more creative or joyful way to approach this task? Are you acting from a place of inspiration or a place of fearful should? This is the sacred dance of creation. You use your strategic mind to build a beautiful, logical structure, and then you surrender that structure to the flow of your intuition and the grace of the universe, allowing for magic, for synchronicity, and for divine guidance at every step. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to practice with the strategic wing. Take the soulful goal you identified in our last chapter. In your journal, practice chunking it down. Brainstorm every possible small action step. you can think of that would be required to get from here to there. Don't worry about the order or the timeline yet. Just create a huge menu of possible steps. This act of breaking it down will make your big goal feel instantly more tangible and achievable. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 69. Overcoming Procrastination Energetically. We have a soulful goal and a beautiful, intuitive plan. We are ready to take action. And yet, we encounter a familiar and frustrating obstacle: procrastination. That mysterious force that keeps us from doing the very things we say we want to do. Today, we are going to dismantle the great myth of procrastination. Procrastination is not a character flaw. It is not a sign that you are lazy, unmotivated, or undisciplined. You are not lazy. You have an infinite well of energy for the things that you are truly passionate about and aligned with. Procrastination, it's not the problem. It is a symptom. It is a form of resistance. And resistance is simply valuable information. Procrastination is a messenger from your soul. It is a smoke alarm, wailing to let you know that there is a fire somewhere in your inner world that needs your compassionate attention. Our work is not to beat the smoke alarm into submission with brute force and willpower. Our work is to thank the alarm for the signal, and then to become a gentle detective, searching for the source of the fire. Let's explore the most common energetic roots of procrastination. The most common source is fear. Often we procrastinate because we are afraid. We might have a fear of failure. The ego tells us, if I don't really try, then I can't truly fail. If I wait until the last minute, I'll have a built-in excuse for why it isn't perfect. We might also have a fear of success. The ego whispers, if I actually succeed, my life will have to change. More will be expected of me. I might not be able to handle it. And of course, there is the fear of judgment. We delay putting our work out into the world because we are terrified of what others will think. Another primary source is perfectionism, the favorite tool of the inner critic. The perfectionist believes it must be done perfectly or not at all. This creates an impossibly high bar for entry, leading us to get perpetually stuck in the research or planning phase, never feeling ready enough to actually begin. A third source is simply overwhelm and a lack of clarity. The goal feels too big, the path is unclear, and we don't know where to start. So, we do nothing. Our nervous system goes into a state of freeze, and we seek refuge in the temporary comfort of distraction. And finally, sometimes the procrastination is a very pure and honest signal of misalignment. Sometimes the resistance is your soul's way of saying a clear and powerful no. The task you are putting off may simply not be in alignment with your core values, your passions, or your true purpose. Your procrastination is a form of intuitive guidance, trying to steer you away from a path that is not truly yours. So, once we identify the source, how do we offer an energetic antidote? If the root is fear, the antidote is self-compassion and shrinking the task. Acknowledge the fear. I hear you. I know this is scary. Then, make the first step so ridiculously small that it feels almost silly. This is the 5-minute rule. Commit to working on the task for just 5 minutes. Often, starting is the hardest part. If the root is perfectionism, the antidote is to give yourself permission to create a terrible first draft. Lower the stakes. The goal is not to create a masterpiece on the first try. The goal is simply completion. Your mantra can be, done is better than perfect. If the root is overwhelm, the antidote is to break it down into the smallest possible next step. Your only job is to focus on that one tiny action and forget about the 100 steps that come after it. And if the root is misalignment, the antidote is an honest conversation with yourself. Is this task truly necessary? Can it be delegated, renegotiated, or simply dropped? To honor the no that your procrastination is delivering is a profound act of self-respect. Procrastination is not a weakness to be conquered. It is a signal to be listened to with love. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to have a compassionate conversation with your resistance. Bring to mind one task you are currently procrastinating on. In your journal, at the top of a page, write the name of the task. Then, write the question. My dear resistance, what are you trying to protect me from? Or, what do you need from me right now to feel safe enough to begin? Then, just listen. Write down whatever answers arise from the perspective of the part of you that is resisting. Without any judgment, welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 70, The Power of Consistent Action. We have our soulful goals, our compass is set by our values, and our intuitive plan is beginning to unfold. Now we must engage with the single most powerful, yet most underrated force in the universe of creation, the power of consistent action. We live in a culture that glorifies the grand gesture, the heroic leap, the overnight success. We see the final, triumphant outcome, the best-selling novel, the thriving business, the masterful work of art. And we are fed a myth that it arrived in a single, brilliant flash of inspiration. This illusion is a great disservice to the nature of all true creation, because it hides the most important part of the story, the thousands of small, simple, unglamorous, consistent steps that made the masterpiece possible. The universe does not operate in dramatic leaps. It operates on the law of compounding. Small, seemingly insignificant efforts, when repeated with consistency over time, do not just add up, they multiply. They build upon each other, creating an exponential curve of growth that is almost invisible at first, but unstoppable in the end. A river carves a canyon, not with one tremendous, violent flood, but with the patient, steady, consistent flow of water over millennia. A magnificent cathedral is built not by magic, but by the daily act of laying one stone, then another, then another. The power is not in the size of the action, but in the rhythm of its repetition. This understanding is the antidote to the overwhelm that so often leads to procrastination. The goal is not to build the cathedral today. Your only job, on any given day, is to show up and lay one brick. Let this be your mantra. Your only job today is to lay one brick. That one brick might be writing one paragraph. It might be meditating for 3 minutes. It might be making one phone call. It might be doing 5 push-ups. The task must be so small, so manageable, that the voice of resistance has very little to argue with. Some days, you will lay your brick perfectly. It will feel easy and inspired. Other days, you will be tired, unmotivated, and distracted. You will lay your brick crookedly. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you showed up and you laid the brick. It is the consistency of the action, not the quality of the action, on any given day, that builds the momentum. This practice of consistent action is a profound spiritual practice. First, it builds self-trust. Every time you keep a small promise to yourself, every time you show up and lay your brick as you said you would, you are casting a vote for the new identity, of I am someone who follows through. You are building a track record of integrity with yourself. This self-trust is the bedrock of all true confidence. Second, it honors the dignity of the process. It shifts your focus from a desperate, grasping need to reach the destination, and instead teaches you to find a quiet satisfaction in the journey itself. You learn to fall in love with the rhythm of showing up, day after day. And third, it aligns us with the rhythms of nature. Here in the Northeast, as we watch the October leaves gently fall, we are reminded of nature's patient cycles. A mighty oak tree does not grow to its full height in one dramatic burst of effort. It grows imperceptibly, day by day, season by season, through rain and sun, with a quiet, unwavering consistency. This is the path of all natural and sustainable growth. The path to your most cherished dreams is not a frantic sprint. It is a steady, devotional, and often quiet walk. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to define your one brick. Look at a soulful goal you are working towards. In your journal, answer this question. What is the smallest possible daily action I can take that, if done consistently, would inevitably lead me toward this goal? It should be so small it feels almost too easy. For example, write 100 words, or practice the guitar for 5 minutes. Commit to this micro habit for the next 7 days and simply track your consistency. The goal is not perfection, it is presence. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. We have committed to the path of consistent action. But the journey of a purposeful life is not a smooth, paved road. It is a winding, natural trail, complete with unexpected storms, fallen logs, and steep climbs. To navigate this path, we must cultivate the inner quality of resilience. We must learn not just how to move forward, but how to bounce back when we are inevitably knocked down. Consider the difference between a mighty oak tree and a slender willow. The oak tree is a symbol of rigid strength. It stands firm, unyielding against the wind. But in a great storm, that very rigidity can be its downfall. A powerful enough gust can snap its trunk in two. The willow tree, on the other hand, embodies a different kind of strength. It is flexible. It bends with the wind. It allows the storm's powerful energy to pass through it. And when the storm is over, it gently returns to its center, still rooted, still whole. Resilience is the strength of the willow. Let us be very clear. Resilience is not about being invincible. It is not about building armor so thick that you never feel pain. A life without pain is a life without growth, without love, without depth. Resilience is your capacity to feel the pain of a setback, to process it with compassion, and to move forward without getting permanently stuck in it. It is not a measure of whether you get knocked down. It is a measure of how you get back up. So how do we cultivate this flexible, enduring strength of the willow? The absolute foundation of all resilience is self-compassion. This is your first response team. When you stumble, when you face a rejection, when a plan falls apart, the first and most critical response is not judgment, but kindness. The inner voice of resilience is not, "You idiot, how could you fail?" It is the voice we have been practicing. This is a moment of suffering. This is really hard. It's okay to feel disappointed. What do I need right now to feel cared for and supported? To meet your own pain with kindness is the ultimate source of strength. Second, we must learn to maintain perspective. In the immediate aftermath of a setback, our ego can make the problem feel catastrophic and all-consuming. The practice is to consciously zoom out. Ask yourself the powerful question: in 5 years, how much will this specific event matter? What about in 1 year? Or even 1 month? This question is not meant to invalidate your current feelings, but to place the event in the larger flowing river of your life, rather than letting it become a giant boulder that blocks the entire path. Third, we must learn to find the lesson or the opportunity. As we've learned, a growth mindset is essential. Every setback, every challenge, every failure contains a seed of growth. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" a resilient person asks, "What is this here to teach me?" Or, is there an unexpected gift or opportunity hidden within this challenge? This reframes you from a victim of the event to a student of it, empowering you to harvest wisdom from your wounds. Fourth, you must focus on what you can control. In any situation, there are things that are within your control and things that are not. You cannot control the economy, the weather, or other people's reactions. You can control your attitude, your perspective, and your next small intentional action. Resilient people do not waste their precious energy on things they cannot change. They focus their power exclusively on their own circle of influence. Finally, remember that resilience is not a solo act. Part of the strength of the willow is its deep, interconnected root system. It is a sign of true strength, not weakness, to be vulnerable enough to reach out and ask for support from your trusted friends, family, or mentors when you are struggling. Resilience is the muscle of your heart, and like any muscle, it is strengthened not by avoiding difficulty, but by moving through it with grace, compassion, and a deep and abiding trust in your own ability to rise again, stronger than before. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. In-script journaling prompt for the narrator to read. Your invitation this week is to honor your own resilience. In your journal, recall a significant challenge from your past that at the time felt overwhelming, but that you successfully navigated. Write down the story. But as you write, frame it as a hero's journey. What inner resources, like courage, patience, or creativity, did you discover you had? What crucial lesson did you learn? How did you become a stronger, wiser person as a result of that experience? Take a moment to truly acknowledge and celebrate your own enduring strength. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 72. Embracing failure as feedback. We have learned to cultivate resilience, the art of bouncing back from setbacks. Now we will take on the very concept that creates the need for resilience in the first place. We are here to do the brave work of deconstructing our relationship with one of the most feared words in our vocabulary, the word failure. For most of us, that word carries an immense emotional charge. It is tied to our deepest fears of being judged, of being unworthy, of not being good enough. We have been conditioned to believe that failure is an endpoint, a verdict, a final judgment on our capability and our worth. Today, we will learn to see it not as a verdict, but as a vital and necessary form of data. We will learn to embrace failure as feedback. I invite you to adopt a new paradigm, the mindset of a scientist in a laboratory. A scientist, when conducting an experiment, does not fail. The experiment simply produces a result. That result is neutral. It is simply information. If the result is not what they expected, they do not throw their hands up and declare, "I am a terrible scientist." Instead, They get curious. They study the result. They ask, what did this teach me? Why did this happen? They then use that new data to adjust their hypothesis and design a new, more informed experiment. This is the mindset we must bring to the laboratory of our own lives. Every action you take is an experiment. Every outcome is simply a result. Your failures are not failures. They are simply data points, providing you with the crucial information you need to adjust your approach. Let this be your new mantra. Failure is not a verdict. It is a data point. A business that doesn't succeed is a data point that tells you the market needs something different. A relationship that ends is a data point that teaches you about your needs and values. A project that doesn't work out is a data point that illuminates a flaw in your strategy. When you can see failure as neutral feedback, it loses its emotional charge and becomes an invaluable teacher. To do this, we must consciously deconstruct our fear. The fear of failure is often a fear of judgment from others. But the truth is, the people who are also in the arena, as Brené Brown would say, the people who are also trying, creating, and daring greatly, rarely judge. The harshest judgment almost always comes from the spectators in the stands, those who are too afraid to step onto the field themselves. You must choose whose opinion truly matters. But the most important fear to deconstruct is the fear of becoming a failure as an identity. This is the crucial separation we must make. The event is separate from your identity. You can say, the project I worked on failed, which is an observation of an outcome. But to say, I am a failure, is to tell a painful and untrue story from the ego. You are not your results. Your inherent worth is not, and has never been, on the line. A powerful practice to help normalize your relationship with failure is to create a failure resume. Many successful entrepreneurs and creatives do this. You take out your journal, and instead of listing your achievements, you list your biggest misses, your most significant mistakes, the projects that didn't work out. And for each one, you write down two things: what you learned from the experience and how that lesson ultimately served you or led you down a better path. This practice does two things. It shows you that you have survived 100% of your past failures. And it reveals, in black and white, that your greatest moments of growth have often been born from your most challenging moments. The only true failure is the failure to try in the first place, out of a fear of getting it wrong. The only true failure is to receive a result and fail to learn from it. Every other outcome is simply a lesson, a stepping stone, a course correction on the beautiful, messy, and experimental journey of a life well lived. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to become the scientist of your own life. Bring to mind one recent failure or mistake, big or small. In your journal, put on your metaphorical lab coat. First, objectively write down what happened, the experiment and its result. Then answer these questions like a curious researcher. 1. What is the neutral data this result has given me? 2. What did I learn from this? 3. What is one thing I can do differently in my next experiment based on this new information? Reframe the failure as a successful lesson. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 73, The Importance of Persistence. We have our soulful goals, and we have a plan that beautifully marries strategy with intuition. We are filled with the excitement of a new beginning. But what happens when that initial inspiration fades? What happens when we encounter the inevitable obstacles, the delays, the moments of doubt. It's here that we must call upon one of the most vital qualities of a purpose-driven life: soulful persistence. There is a common and dangerous illusion on the path to any worthwhile creation. We imagine that the journey should be a straight, upward climb. But the reality is that almost every great endeavor includes a long, challenging period in the middle. Author Seth Godin calls this the dip. It is the phase after the initial excitement of starting has worn off, but before the tangible results and rewards have begun to appear. It is the long slog through the middle. The dip is where most people give up. Persistence is the spiritual stamina that carries you through the dip. It is the quiet, unwavering courage to keep showing up for your dream, long after the applause has faded and the finish line is still out of sight. However, we must make a crucial distinction between soulful persistence and stubborn, ego-driven hustle. Stubbornness is a rigid attachment to a specific method or a specific, non-negotiable outcome. It is the energy of trying to force a locked door open by running into it again and again, with more and more effort. It feels hard, depleting, and is often rooted in a fear of being wrong. Soulful persistence, on the other hand, is an unwavering commitment to the vision, to the core feeling, and to the why behind your goal, while remaining completely flexible about the method. It is the energy of trying the locked door, and when it doesn't open, having the wisdom to pause and look for a key, to check for an open window, or to walk around the building to see if there's a back entrance. Persistence is fueled by faith in the destination, not a rigid attachment to one particular path. So how do we cultivate this soulful, flexible persistence? First, and most importantly, you must be deeply connected to your why. Your why is the emotional and spiritual fuel for your journey. When the how becomes difficult and exhausting, your why is what will get you out of bed in the morning. It is your connection to your core values, to the sense of purpose that makes the effort worthwhile. If your why is not strong enough, the dip will almost certainly defeat you. Second, you must learn to fall in love with the process. This is the practice of laying the brick that we have discussed. If your happiness is entirely dependent on achieving the final goal, the long journey through the middle will be a miserable slog. But if you can learn to find a quiet satisfaction in the daily act of showing up, in the process of writing, of practicing, of creating, of learning, then the journey itself becomes the reward. Third, you must celebrate small wins. The grand destination can often feel impossibly far away. To maintain your motivation, you must become adept at acknowledging and celebrating your progress along the way. This is where your evidence journal becomes a powerful tool. By tracking your small victories, the chapter completed, the new skill learned, the positive feedback received, you are providing your brain with the steady drip of encouragement it needs to stay in the game. As we settle into this quiet October evening here in Pine Hill, we can look to the wisdom of the season. Think of the farmer who planted seeds in the spring. They watered, weeded, and tended to their fields all through the long, hot days of summer, often seeing little visible change. Their persistence was an act of faith. Now in the autumn, the harvest arrives. That abundant harvest is the direct result of their unwavering, patient persistence through the difficult middle part of the cycle. Soulful persistence is a farmer's faith, applied to the garden of your own dreams. It is the quiet, steady, devotional act of showing up for your vision day after day, trusting that your consistent effort is compounding, unseen, beneath the surface. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to deeply connect with your why. Take your primary soulful goal and write it at the top of a fresh page in your journal. Then, spend at least 10 minutes writing freely in response to these questions. Why is this truly important to me? What deeper core value does achieving this honor? What kind of person will I become in the process of pursuing this? Do not censor yourself. This is your fuel for the journey ahead. Connect with it. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 74. Developing a Success Mindset. We have been diligently gathering the tools for a purposeful life, the clarity of vision, the strength of persistence, the wisdom of resilience. Now we will learn to create the very inner environment in which all of these tools can work most effectively. We are here to consciously cultivate a success mindset. Here is a foundational truth of creation. Success is not something you get. It is something you attract by the person you become. Your outer world is, and always will be, a mirror of your inner world. You cannot create lasting external success from a place of internal lack, fear, and limitation. Therefore, developing a success mindset is not a consequence of achieving your goals. It is the absolute prerequisite. It is the cause, not the effect. It is the fertile soil in which the seeds of your soulful goals can grow to their full potential. So what are the key components of this powerful inner state? First is abundance consciousness. This is the opposite of a scarcity mindset. Scarcity believes that there is a limited pie, and if someone else gets a big slice, there is less for you. It breeds competition, jealousy, and fear. Abundance consciousness, on the other hand, knows that we live in an infinite universe of possibility. It believes that there is more than enough for everyone. A person with this mindset genuinely celebrates the success of others because they know that another's light does not diminish their own. In fact, it illuminates the path and expands the field of possibility for everyone. Second is a deep sense of responsibility. This is the opposite of a victim mentality. A victim mentality believes that life is happening to you. A responsibility mindset understands that life is happening through you and for you. It is the understanding that you are the primary creative force in your own life. This does not mean you control everything, but it does mean now you take 100% ownership of your responses, your choices, and your energy. By taking ownership of your results, both the wins and the losses, you reclaim the power to change them. Third is an opportunity-focused perspective. This is the art of seeing the gift in every challenge. An obstacle-focused mind sees a problem and says, "This is a roadblock. I'm stuck." An opportunity-focused mind sees the same problem and asks, "What is this here to teach me? Is there a hidden opportunity here? Is this detour leading me to an even better path?" It is the alchemical ability to turn stumbling blocks into stepping stones. Fourth, a success mindset is action-oriented. It understands that while inner work is essential, inspired action is the bridge that carries our dreams into reality. It favors trying and learning over waiting for the perfect moment that will never arrive. It embraces experimentation and is not afraid to get messy. And finally, it is rooted in a commitment to lifelong learning. This is the growth mindset we have discussed. It is the humble and exciting belief that you can always learn more, grow stronger, and become a better version of yourself. A person with a success mindset is a perpetual student of life, always curious, always open to new knowledge, and always receptive to feedback. A powerful practice to help you embody this state is the act as if principle. This is not fake it until you make it, which can feel inauthentic. This is a form of vibrational rehearsal. Ask yourself this question: how would the fully realized, successful, future version of me handle this situation? What would they be thinking? How would they be feeling? What action would they take? Then, from that inspired place, you take that action right now. You are not pretending to be someone else. You are simply closing the gap between who you are and who you are becoming. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to strengthen one pillar of your success mindset. In your journal, look at the 5 components: abundance, responsibility, opportunity focus, action orientation, and lifelong learning. Which one feels like it could use the most nourishment right now? Write that word at the top of a page. Then, brainstorm one small, simple action you can take this week that would be a direct expression of that quality. For example, if you chose abundance, your action could be to genuinely celebrate a friend's success. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset, Chapter 75, Mentors and Guides. We have dedicated ourselves to the path of purposeful living, cultivating the inner strength, resilience, and mindset required for the journey. Now, we must embrace a crucial and beautiful truth. This journey is not meant to be walked alone. Today, we will explore the profound importance of seeking, finding, and receiving wisdom from mentors and guides. There is a pervasive myth in our culture of the self-made hero, the lone genius who achieves greatness all on their own. This is an illusion. Every single successful person in every field of human endeavor has stood on the shoulders of giants. They have had teachers, coaches, supporters, and guides who have illuminated the path, offered encouragement, and shared their hard-won wisdom. To actively seek guidance is not a sign of weakness. It is a profound sign of strength, humility, and wisdom. It is the recognition that we do not have to learn every lesson the hard way. Let us expand our definition of what a mentor can be. A guide can show up in many forms. There are direct mentors. This is the classic model. A person in your life or in your field, perhaps a little further down the path than you are, who you can have real conversations with. They can offer specific advice, share their own experiences, and provide a source of personal accountability and support. Then there are indirect mentors. These are the authors, artists, spiritual teachers, and historical figures, both living and dead, whose work has a profound impact on you. You can be mentored by reading a book, by studying a philosophy, by immersing yourself in someone's body of work. You can have Abraham Lincoln, Maya Angelou, or Albert Einstein as a personal mentor, simply by choosing to become a dedicated student of their wisdom. There are also peer mentors. These are a trusted group of equals, a mastermind group who are on a similar journey. This is not about one person being the expert, but about a circle of mutual support. You can share your wins, be vulnerable about your struggles, hold each other accountable, and learn from each other's unique perspectives and experiences. A supportive peer group is one of the most powerful accelerators for growth. And finally, and most importantly, there is your inner mentor. This is your own intuition, your own higher self. This is the guide that resides within your own heart. Ultimately, all external guidance, no matter how wise, must be filtered through the lens of your own inner knowing. A true mentor will never tell you what to do. They will help you to access your own truth more clearly. Your intuition is your primary guide. All others are simply trusted advisors. So how do we attract this guidance into our life? It begins by getting clear on what you need. What specific area of your life are you seeking clarity or support in right now? Is it your career, your spiritual practice, a creative project? The more specific your need, the easier it will be to recognize the right guide when they appear. Next, you must strive to be a worthy mentee. The best way to attract a wonderful teacher is to be a wonderful student. Be curious, be open-minded and coachable, do the work, show up prepared, and be deeply respectful of your mentor's time and energy. And always lead with gratitude. Whether it is a direct mentor or an author whose book changed your life, find a way to express your appreciation. The energy of gratitude is a magnet for continued blessings and support. The path of purpose is a sacred relay race. We receive the baton of wisdom from those who have come before us. We run our part of the race with all of our heart, our strength, and our unique gifts. And then, in turn, we pass that baton on to those who come after us. This is our beautiful, interconnected human lineage. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to acknowledge your circle of guidance. In your journal, create a page titled My Personal Board of Directors. On this page, list the mentors and guides in your life. Include any direct mentors you have, at least 3 indirect mentors whose work inspires you, any peer mentors who support you, and at the head of the table, your own inner mentor. The simple act of writing this down is a powerful recognition of the web of support that surrounds you. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 76. Building your support network. We have explored the vital role of mentors and guides, those who can light the path ahead of us. Now we will broaden our perspective to cultivate the entire ecosystem of support that is necessary for our soulful goals to truly flourish. A tall tree needs more than just sunlight from above. It needs a rich, nourishing soil and a network of roots to hold it steady. Your support network is your soil and your root system. There is a well-known saying that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This is not a judgment, it is a statement of energetic reality. As vibrational beings, we are profoundly influenced by the frequencies of those in our immediate circle. If your closest connections are mired in negativity, fear, or stagnation, you will have to expend a tremendous amount of your own life force just to maintain your own high vibration. It is like trying to stay warm while standing in a cold draft. Conversely, when you consciously surround yourself with people who are positive, supportive, inspiring, and on their own path of growth, their energy naturally uplifts and supports yours. A rising tide lifts all boats. Building a conscious support network is not about social climbing or discarding old friends. It is a compassionate and intentional act of curating your relational environment to create the most fertile ground for your own becoming. A healthy, well-rounded support network often includes people who play different vital roles. First, there is the cheerleader. This is the person in your life who believes in you unconditionally. They are your rock. When you are riddled with self-doubt, They are the ones who reflect your own light back to you and remind you of your strength and your dreams. Their belief in you can be a powerful anchor in moments of uncertainty. Next, there is the truth teller. This is a deeply trusted friend who loves you enough to be honest with you, even when it's hard. They are not a critic, but a compassionate mirror. They are the one who can gently say, "I notice you're falling into that old pattern," or, "Is that choice truly in alignment with your values?" Their loving honesty helps you see your own blind spots and holds you to the highest version of yourself. There is the inspirer. This is often a mentor or a guide, someone who is a few steps ahead of you on a similar path. Their journey and their example serve as a living testament to what is possible, inspiring you to keep going when the path feels long. There is the collaborator or the peer mentor. This is a kindred spirit who is on a similar path at a similar stage. You are not a mentor or a student to each other, but equals. This is the person you can brainstorm with, share struggles and successes with, and co-create with. This relationship is built on a powerful sense of, we're in this together. And finally, a truly rich support system often includes the protégé, someone whom you are mentoring or supporting. The act of teaching and guiding another is one of the most powerful ways to solidify your own learning and to step into a role of leadership and generosity. Take a moment to reflect on your current network. The practice is not to judge or to create a hierarchy of your friends. It is simply to become aware of the energetic exchange. After you spend time with the key people in your life, how do you generally feel? Energized, seen, and inspired? Or depleted, unheard, and drained? This is valuable, non-judgmental information. To cultivate a high vibration network, the first step is always to be the person you wish to attract. To find a supportive friend, be a supportive friend. To find an inspiring peer, be an inspiring peer. Your own energy is the magnet. Then, you must go where they are. Join the class, the group, the community that is centered around your passions, your values, and your growth. Step into the environments where inspiring, like-minded people are likely to gather. And finally, you must nurture these connections. A network is not a static collection. It is a living garden that requires tending. Reach out, offer a kind word, celebrate their wins, be a good listener, be the kind of support you wish to receive. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to map your ecosystem of support. In your journal, write down the different roles: the cheerleader, the truth teller, the inspirer, the collaborator, the protégé. Next to each role, write down the name or names of the people in your life who currently fill that space for you. Also, notice if any roles feel particularly empty right now. This is not an exercise in judgment, but in grateful recognition of the support you have, and gentle awareness of the support your soul may be craving. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 77, Networking with Soul. We have spoken of building our inner circle of support. Now we will address the art of expanding that circle, of reaching out to new people. We are going to tackle a word that, for many of us, can feel uncomfortable, inauthentic, and even predatory: the word networking. The very idea of networking often conjures images of stuffy rooms, forced smiles, and transactional conversations. It can feel like a game of collecting contacts, where the primary motive is, what can I get from this person? This entire paradigm is rooted in the ego and a sense of lack. It is no wonder it feels so unpleasant. Today, we are here to reclaim and redefine this practice. We are going to release the word networking and replace it with a much more beautiful and authentic intention: connection. Soulful networking is not a transaction. It is a human interaction. The goal is not to collect a stack of business cards. The goal is to make one or two genuine human connections. It is a shift from quantity to quality, and it begins with a radical shift in your primary question. You will let go of the question, "What can I get?" And you will replace it with the questions, "How can I connect?" and "How can I serve?" Let's explore the simple toolkit for this heart-centered approach. The first principle is to lead with curiosity. Enter every conversation not with an agenda, but with a genuine curiosity about the human being standing in front of you. Everyone has a story. Everyone has a passion. Everyone has a struggle. Your only job is to be a gentle and interested detective of their world. Ask beautiful, open-ended questions that go beyond "What do you do?" Ask, "What's a project you're really excited about right now?" Or, "What's the most interesting thing you've learned recently?" Or simply, "What's your story?" People feel deeply seen and valued when someone is genuinely interested in them. Second, listen more than you speak. As we learned in our practice of active listening, the most charismatic and memorable people are often the best listeners. Resist the urge to immediately talk about yourself. Give the other person the generous gift of your full, undivided presence. Listen to understand, not just to find an opening for your own pitch. When you make someone feel truly heard, you create a powerful and lasting bond. Third, and this is the most powerful shift, you must seek to give, not to get. As you listen to someone share their story, keep a gentle question in the back of your mind. How might I be able to help this person? It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. You might be able to recommend a book, share a useful resource, or connect them with someone else in your network who could support their goals. Asking, "Who is someone I could introduce you to that would be helpful for your project?" is an incredibly generous and memorable question. By leading with a spirit of service, you transform the energy of the interaction from one of taking to one of graceful, mutual exchange. Finally, when it is your turn to share your passion, not just your pitch. When someone asks what you do, don't just give them your job title. Share the why behind your work. Share the mission that drives you, the people you love to serve, the problem you are passionate about solving. People don't connect with a dry resume. They connect with authentic enthusiasm and a sense of purpose. Your passion is magnetic. Soulful networking is simply the practice of building a community. It is the art of approaching every new person with the belief that they have something to teach you and that you have something to offer them. It is seeing the divine spark in every individual and seeking to create a genuine connection from that sacred place. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to reframe an upcoming social opportunity. It could be a work event, a party, or even just a trip to the coffee shop. In your journal, instead of thinking of it as a networking event, label it a connection opportunity. Then write down a simple intention for that event. Instead of, "I need to meet 3 important people," try an intention like, "My intention is to have one meaningful conversation and to make one person feel truly heard." This shifts your entire energy before you even walk in the door. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 78, Giving Back, the Cycle of Abundance. We have journeyed so far in the cultivation of a purposeful life. defining our success, discovering our gifts, building our support systems. Now we arrive at the beautiful and essential culmination of this path. We are here to explore the ultimate expression of a soul-aligned life, the act of giving back. We will learn that true abundance is not a state of having, but a state of flowing. Think of the breath. To live, we must both inhale and exhale. To only inhale is to hoard and eventually stagnate. To only exhale is to deplete ourselves. A healthy, vibrant life requires a constant, rhythmic, and balanced exchange of both. Much of our journey so far has been the sacred in-breath, receiving wisdom, discovering our gifts, filling our own cup with self-love. Giving back is the sacred out-breath. It is the act that completes the cycle, that keeps the energy moving, and that makes space for us to receive even more. While finding a purpose that utilizes our passions and gifts is profoundly fulfilling, the deepest sense of meaning arrives when that purpose is placed in service of something larger than our own individual ego. This is the sacred intersection we have spoken of, where our personal joy meets a need in the world. This is where we move from success to significance. There is a fundamental law of the universe at play here, the law of circulation. Energy, be it love, money, or knowledge, is not meant to be dammed up and hoarded. It is designed to be like a river, flowing freely. When you hoard what you have, you are energetically signaling to the universe that you are at your limit. You are creating stagnation. When you give freely and generously from your abundance, you are signaling to the universe that you are a trustworthy and open channel. This act of giving creates a vacuum that naturally draws more energy, more love, and more abundance to and through you. You cannot outgive the universe. As the cool of this October evening settles around us, we can find this wisdom reflected in the world outside. The trees which spent the spring and summer drawing in sunlight, water, and nutrients, the in-breath, are now in the midst of their great out-breath. They are releasing their brilliant leaves to nourish the soil and dropping their seeds to ensure new life in the spring. This act of giving is not a loss for the tree. It is the fulfillment of its purpose. It is an essential part of the sacred cycle that ensures the continuation of life. So how do we practice this out-breath in our own lives? We must expand our definition of what it means to give back. It is so much more than just writing a check to a charity. It is a way of being in the world. You can give your presence. In a world of distraction, offering someone your full, undivided, and empathetic attention is one of the most profound gifts you can give. You can give your talent. Offer your natural, innate gifts freely without expecting anything in return. If you have a gift for organizing, help a friend declutter their space. If you have a gift for baking, bring a treat to your neighbors. If you have a gift for explaining things clearly, volunteer to tutor a student. You can give your encouragement. Never underestimate the power of a kind word. Send the text message telling a friend you believe in them. Leave a positive comment for a creator whose work you admire. Acknowledge the good you see in a stranger. Your words have the power to change someone's entire day, and you can give your time. Volunteer for a cause that is aligned with your core values. Your time is your most precious, non-renewable resource. To offer it freely in service of something you believe in is a powerful statement of your purpose. The ultimate measure of a truly successful, soul-aligned life is not what we have managed to accumulate for ourselves, but what we have lovingly contributed to the whole. By becoming a generous channel for our unique gifts, we step into the beautiful, ever-flowing, and deeply joyful cycle of abundance. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to connect your gifts with giving. Look at the list of your unique gifts and talents that you've been cultivating. In your journal, brainstorm a few small, simple ways you could offer one of these gifts in service to someone else this week, with no expectation of anything in return. For example, I can use my gift for humor to cheer up a friend who is having a hard day, or I can use my gift for planning to help my family organize our upcoming holiday. Choose one and follow through. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 79. Leaving a Legacy. We have been deeply immersed in the work of building a purposeful life in the here and now. Today, we will expand our perspective. We will cast our gaze forward to the very horizon of our lives, to contemplate one of the most profound questions we can ever ask ourselves. What is the legacy I wish to leave behind? When we hear the word legacy, our minds often leap to the monumental: a building with our name on it, a best-selling book, a foundation that lives on after us, a story told in the history books. And while these are beautiful and valid forms of legacy, this narrow definition can feel intimidating, and it can make the concept of legacy feel inaccessible to most of us. Today, we are here to reclaim and redefine legacy. Your truest, most powerful legacy is not a monument you leave for people. It is the feeling you leave in people. It is the energetic imprint you make on the world, moment by moment, day by day. Your legacy is not something you plan for at the end of your life. You are building it right now. You are building it in the way you listen to a friend. You are building it in the integrity with which you do your work. You are building it in the compassion you show to a stranger and in the patience you offer to yourself. Your legacy is the cumulative effect of all your small, seemingly insignificant choices. It is the sum total of your present moments. Imagine your life as a stone dropped into a vast, quiet pond. Your every word, your every action, and even your every thought is a stone. The ripples spread out from you, touching the lives of others in ways you can never fully see or comprehend. A single, kind word can change the course of someone's day, which can in turn change how they interact with the next person, and so on, and so on. Your legacy is the quality of the ripples you are choosing to send out into the world right now. Let's engage in a reflective exercise to bring this into focus. I invite you to gently close your eyes. Imagine yourself at a beautiful celebration for your 81st or 91st birthday. You are surrounded by the people you have loved most in your life. A few of them stand up to say a few words about you. Listen to what they are saying. They are not listing your job titles or the balance in your bank account. They are speaking about who you were for them. What do you hope they say? Do they say, "She always made me feel truly seen and heard"? Do they say, "He had a way of making everyone laugh, even in the hardest times"? Do they say, "She was a person of unwavering integrity"? Or, "He inspired me to be more courageous"? The qualities you are hearing in your heart's imagination, kindness, courage, presence, creativity, integrity, joy, that is the blueprint for your true legacy. On this cool October evening, we can look to the trees as our teachers. All summer long, they grew, they reached for the sun, they provided shade. Now in the autumn, they are giving their final gift. They are letting go of their leaves. These leaves fall to the ground, and over the winter, they will become the rich, fertile soil that nourishes the next generation of life. This is the tree's legacy. It is not a static monument. It is a quiet, selfless act of contribution that ensures the future of the forest. Our truest legacy is the quality of the soil we create for others to grow in. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to write your own legacy statement. In your journal, based on the reflective exercise we just did, write down the 3 to 5 qualities or feelings you would most want to be remembered for. Then, for each of those qualities, I invite you to brainstorm one small, simple action you can take this week that would be a living expression of that legacy. If you want to be remembered for kindness, your action might be to perform one anonymous kind act. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Chapter 80, Integrating Purpose into Daily Life. We have journeyed far in this exploration of purposeful living. We have defined our own soulful success, uncovered our unique gifts, and connected with a vision for our lives that feels true and expansive. We have even contemplated the legacy we wish to leave. Now we must address the most practical and perhaps most important question of all. How do we bridge the gap between this grand, inspiring vision and the humble, mundane reality of our everyday lives? How do we live with purpose when we are doing laundry, sitting in traffic, or responding to emails? This is where many of us get stuck. We believe that living our purpose is a far-off destination, a future where we have the perfect job, have written the book, or have started the nonprofit. And in waiting for that perfect what, we miss the opportunity to live with purpose right now. Here is the secret. Purpose is not a what, it is a how. Your purpose is not a specific job title or a grand accomplishment. It is a quality of being, a core value that you can bring to whatever you are doing in this very moment. Perhaps through your inner work, you have realized that your core purpose is to create more beauty in the world. You can live that purpose as a graphic designer, yes, but you can also live it in the way you arrange flowers on your kitchen table. You can live it in the way you carefully craft an email. You can live it in the way you choose your words to be beautiful and kind. Perhaps your purpose is to be a source of peace and compassion. You can live that purpose as a therapist or a mediator, but you can also live it in the way you patiently wait in the grocery line. You can live it in the way you listen to your child. You can live it in the way you offer compassion to yourself when you make a mistake. Purpose is not a destination. It is the quality of presence and intention you bring to the journey. So how do we practice this? How do we infuse the mundane with meaning? It begins each morning with a daily intention. Before you get swept up in the currents of the day, take just 60 seconds. Place a hand on your heart. Connect with your core purpose or core value you wish to embody, and set a simple intention. Today, I will be a channel for compassion. Today, I will look for the beauty in the small things. Today, I will move through my tasks with a sense of peace. This intention becomes your North Star for the day. Next, we practice single tasking. Our minds are constantly rushing ahead, thinking about the next thing on the list. This robs the present moment of its richness. When you are washing the dishes, just wash the dishes. Feel the warmth of the water on your hands. See the bubbles. Hear the clink of the plates. By bringing your full mindful attention to the task at hand, you transform a mundane chore into a moving meditation. In that moment, You are not just doing the dishes. Your purpose is to be fully present. Finally, you can learn to find the service in everything. You can reframe your daily tasks to connect them to a larger sense of contribution. You are not just stuck in traffic. You are patiently participating in the complex, coordinated dance of your community. You are not just answering emails. You are a vital node of communication, helping your team or your clients to move forward. You are not just doing laundry. You are lovingly caring for the very fabrics that protect and comfort your family. This is how we close the gap. This is how we live a spiritual life in a material world. We realize that the grand purpose we are seeking is not in some distant, heroic future. It is available to us right here, right now, in the way we choose to show up, for the ordinary, sacred, and beautiful moments of our one precious life. Welcome to the Luminara Mindset. Your invitation this week is to practice infusing the mundane with meaning. Choose one routine task that you often do on autopilot or with a sense of drudgery. Before you begin that task this week, take just 30 seconds to set a new intention for it. How could you infuse it with one of your core values? For example, if your value is excellence, how could you approach the task with a little more care and attention to detail? Afterwards, in your journal, write a few sentences about how this small shift in intention changed your experience of the task.